It's Ashley from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and welcome to Fail Friday, the series in which I fix your baking fail, my baking fail, or I help you to avoid a fail. And for the fourth day of Vlogmas, I'm going to be fixing those Christmas cookie fails. But first, we're going to open up our friend's calendar, and my lovely son is helping me with day number 4 today. How cute is this? A little guitar pick that says, "I'd rather be watching Friends." Fun fact, whenever I'm doing baking tutorials, I'm 90% of the time watching Friends. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the classic reason as to why ratios are so important. So I just took a standard shortbread recipe, but what I ended up doing was I was browning the butter and then going to do brown buttered shortbread cookies. Now, ordinarily, I feel like this would work, but my ratios were all over the place. I feel like maybe the recipe that I originally chose to work off of wasn't a great one, because I've done this technique before where I've replaced regular butter with browned butter in my sugar cookie recipe, and it worked out beautifully. So I'm not really sure what happened with this. If you've made shortbread cookies before, you know it's a very simplistic recipe. You really only use 3 ingredients: sugar, butter, and flour. As you can see here, it already looks pretty dry, but I do manage to get it all together. Now, from what happens to my cookies after I bake them though, I can tell that there wasn't enough flour in my dough. But you know what? Not every recipe that you're going to try out this holiday season is going to work for you. Despite the pretty pictures in the blog, sometimes things just go wrong. So after I cut out and bake these cookies, I am really gonna show you how to fix this mess. Now, I love using this cutter. It's so beautiful for shortbread. I love a classic shortbread because I do so many decorated cookies. Whenever I'm making up gift boxes for people, I always like to keep my shortbread just super delicious looking and simple. Now, I don't want to discourage you from browning the butter in your shortbread recipe. It actually is a great way to amplify the flavor, and it has worked out for me in the past. So this was really interesting that things went a little bit awry this time. But this is a very prime example of how precision is important in baking. At this point, I did think so far so good, and I didn't add in as much flour as the recipe called for because things were already pretty dry. But when I placed it in the oven and took them out, this is what happened. Now, we've all been there. We want to have beautiful shaped cookies, so this is the quick fix. Make sure that you take a metal cookie cutter when you're doing this. My pan right now is actually still quite hot. If you don't do this while this is hot, then your cookies may crack. When you do it when it's still warm on the pan, it's technically still baking. So at least you're gonna get some baking on those edges there. You're not gonna get a perfect cut by doing this. It is going to be slightly jagged on the sides as opposed to a beautiful bake, how when, you bake your cookies properly, they turn out, but at least it will still look presentable. And if you really want to cover up those rough edges, you can always dip it in chocolate or do a chocolate drizzle on it. There's lots of ways to fix it, but this is probably the quickest and easiest way to do it. Then take those excess pieces, and I'm going to show you way number 2 to fix this fail. When this happened with the first batch, I thought maybe these really required a lot of chilling, so I did chill these, but the same thing happened anyway. But I gotta say, it still turned out looking pretty good. And when I bit into these, what a beautiful crumb they had. They just had a bit of spreading going on. So next time, different recipe. Now, let's say your cookies are so far gone that they can't even maintain the shape, but they still taste good. Crumble all of your cookies together. You don't even need to do this with a food processor for shortbread because there's already so much butter in it, so it's going to crumble super easily. You can add a slight bit more butter and then bake this again just to make sure that everything is fully cooked through and through, but you really don't need to. I added a little bit of butter and that was about it. I made this salted caramel sauce and I'm going to put it inside here and spread it out. Now, there's a number of things that you can do with this. I'm adding a little bit of a cupcake and putting on some more of that crust, but you can do a number of things. You could add chocolate mousse in there. Do whatever you please. This cookie crust is so versatile. You could even do a full pie with this cookie crust. What I'm doing is I'm taking some Italian meringue buttercream and I'm creating an individualized dessert and making some poinsettias on top. I'm using my fancier leaf tip, which is a double V instead of just a singular V, which is perfect for making these petals. By the way, friends, all of my baking tools that I absolutely love and the essentials that I always use in my tutorials is down in the description box below, where you can go ahead and check them out. Add some gold pearls to finish off this little dessert. So if you've already had a cookie fail this holiday season, I hope that maybe those 2 fixes might give you some ideas on what you can do. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading daily, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to submit your baking fail, and it could be fixed by next Friday.